Hello. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna jump straight into this because I tend to be a long-winded girly, get distracted, kind of lose my words. So, I'm gonna move through this the best that I can. So, I wanna just start by asking, what is your thought process when it comes to your body, to your fitness, the way you look, and the way you feel? Do you think that that is just who you are? Are you accepting where you are as just what it is? Or are you open? Do you even consider your goals possible for yourself? Okay? And if you are having thoughts like, I want to lose the weight, but it's going to be so hard, it's going to take so long, I just can't imagine being a person who is fit, it's just not who I am. Are you talking to yourself like that? Because I did. When I was 175 pounds, I was like, what? There's no way. There's no way that I can be that cute again. There's no way I can fit into those clothes again. There is no freaking way that I can go from this to having the body I actually want. The toned, the feels comfortable in clothes, the moves through life freely, the flexible, the whatever it is, you guys. I want you to ask yourself, what do you think the process looks like to getting there? And do you even think you are capable of getting there? If you are here right now, I can tell you right now that you definitely think it's capable. You know somewhere deep in here that it is possible for you, but you are so afraid that it's going to be so hard and that you have to be someone completely different and that you're just not worthy of it. That is what it is at the end of the day. We don't feel this worthiness of, okay, I can be in the best shape. I will do what it takes. It is going to be challenging, but I have it in me to get where I want to go. I'm going to reach these goals. And that is my first point here. The first freaking code is how are we identifying with ourselves? How are we identifying ourselves? Who are we deciding to be in every moment? Because if you skip this step, you will constantly be restarting. You will constantly need another diet. You will constantly fall off and have to restart. My goal here is to teach you that there's no such thing as restarting. You can pick up where you left off, but here's what I want to be so clear with you guys about is we decide who we are. And we always make our choices based off of our identity, how we identify ourselves. So I'm going to give you guys a little homework. I know I'm starting off with homework, but that's so that we can focus on the rest of the video and you can start at step 1 on your own time. Who do you want to be? How do you want to look? How do you want to feel? What kind of body do you want to live in? Okay? Imagine it and see yourself as that person. Your identity needs to change before anything else does. The way you feel, your frequency, your energy, where you're coming from, how you're moving through life, how you are embodying this new version of yourself is key. Okay? Do not skip this step. That's why I started here. Who do you want to be? When you think about your health, your body, your life, Who do you want it to be? How do you want it to look? Get specific on that, okay? To follow that, I have to say this, that there is a huge difference between doing healthy things to lose weight. That is attached to an outcome. Making healthy choices that is attached to an outcome, no. Every time you attach yourself to something, you push it further away. We are no longer making good choices just because we want to lose a few pounds. Because as soon as you lose the weight, nothing else, it doesn't matter anymore. Because that's not just who you are. You were just doing it for the outcome. You were just doing it for the outcome. Like, think about a relationship with a person. If you're just in a relationship with them so that they can give you stuff, that's not freaking cool. That's not being genuine. That's not coming from who you really are. That is out of integrity. That is having zero integrity. Okay, that is only for the outcome. So as soon as you get it, you're gone. Okay? We aren't doing that. We are becoming the healthiest versions of ourselves because that's who we are, and we understand that our human vessel, we only get one, and this is what we live our life through. And it is so valuable. Your vessel will literally become an antenna for miracles, for magic, for expansion. You get to be the human being you want to be through your body by prioritizing it, by making health your baseline. Okay, so when we switch our mindset to, no, I'm just a healthy person because I care about myself. I love myself. I want to move throughout this world how I want to move out through this world. I want to create. I want to be abundant. I want to have it all. It all comes from here. Okay? That's why I'm healthy. And guess what? Weight loss is the byproduct of me being the healthiest version of myself. Weight loss is the byproduct of becoming the healthiest version of myself. I do not have to attach myself to weight loss. If I don't lose 5 pounds this month, I'm not stopping. Do you understand? If you do not hit your weight goal in your timely manner, you are not stopping just because you didn't hit the weight goal. No, you're being healthy because that's who you are now. That is who you want to be at the end of the day. And you could have the argument where it's like, I don't actually want to be healthy. I like living a shitty lifestyle. I like drinking soda. I like going to fast food. Newsflash, no you don't. No you don't. It makes you feel like shit. It changes your body chemistry. You are programmed to feel that way. It is the norm for you, so it's easy. You don't actually want that thing. You can want to enjoy the human experience and have a treat and drink a soda every once in a while and maybe get fast food once in a blue moon if you really have no other options. But at the end of the day, no, you don't. You were never designed to be born to live life like that. I loved it, the quote, we are in slow cooker bodies in a fast-paced society. We are conditioned that quick. We want the instant. We do not create enough time for ourselves, enough space for ourselves, and enough energy for ourselves to cook at home, to take the time to cut up the vegetables, to really create meals, to put something together, to take the patience to freaking cook it. We're not making time for this because we live in a fast-paced society. It's time we truly come home to who we are designed to be. Okay? I love to think of our ancestors every time I think I'm in this mind space, because it's like, what were they doing? When they got freaking starving, they went and hunted a meal, they built a fire, they freaking cooked it, and then they ate it. Sometimes it took them days. And we are pulling into a drive-through and having our food within 2 minutes and then consuming it. So first of all, know that when we are touching food, cooking food, smelling food, preparing our food, our body or our brain is communicating with our gut that it's time to turn on digestion. We immediately start creating saliva, stomach acid, so that we can digest our food properly while we're cooking it. If we're going to the drive-through 3 times a day, if we are eating out several times a week, we are bypassing a whole opportunity to digest our food properly. Okay, so that's going to put me into the argument of, well, our ancestors did not eat 3 meals a day. So why are you telling me to eat 3 meals a day, and you're also saying to live like our ancestors lived? Well, we're modern day humans. We cannot live how our ancestors lived. We can embody it as much as possible. Okay? But we cannot replicate the way they were living. The reason we need 3 meals a day when they could go 3 days without eating is because we have a whole different lifestyle, and we are burning through our minerals and energy so quickly at a rapid pace, and our food is a lot less nutrient dense than theirs was. Okay, the soils were so mineral rich. They were so full of vitamins and nutrients. They were the perfect raw materials for them to consume, and their light exposure was not messed up the way ours was, because they were not sitting inside buildings 24/7. They were not scrolling their phones late at night. They were not watching Netflix right before bed. All these things throw off our circadian rhythm, which our circadian rhythm is what signals to our body and brain what functions they need to do. So they were getting the most out of their food. Their food was more mineral rich and nutrient dense than us, and they had so much less physical and mental stress that was taking their energy, their minerals, their fuel from. Okay, so let's get into circadian rhythm. Actually, this is a beautiful topic to talk about. First is our circadian rhythm. I'm starting with this because this is truly, until this is locked in, does anything else even matter? I don't want to sound black or white, because I'm definitely not, but food and supplements are raw materials. Light codes from the sun is what signals our body on what functions to do at what times. So without the light codes, the raw materials do not do what they need to do. Okay? So a lot of people, that's the missing puzzle. They're like, oh, I'm eating so healthy, so clean. But how's your circadian rhythm? Your circadian rhythm, to clarify, is your internal biological clock, and it needs to be attuned to where you are on the planet. And the way that your body knows what time it is, so that it knows what functions to do for you, is through light. Okay? And it's very confusing to our brain when we are looking at artificial light all day. Our body does not know what function to do if it doesn't know what time it is. And if we're scrolling on our phones late at night, if we're watching Netflix right before bed, that our brain doesn't register that it's different from the sun, from it being daytime. It has the stimulation of daytime because light is coming through our eyeballs and signaling to our brain that we need to be awake, and our body needs to be functioning in certain ways because our body knows what to do at specific times, but it needs to be able to tell the time, and it doesn't look at a clock and go, it is 10:58, I need to do this. It receives light codes through your eyeballs, and then it communicates with your body what function it needs to do. Okay, so let's just talk about the best way we can train our body into knowing what time it is, aka regulating our circadian rhythm. Number one, this is a code in itself. This, if we do, can change everything. And I will say it is something that I used to get to this point, and it is morning sunlight. Morning sunlight in your bare eyes, no contacts, no glasses, no sunglasses, UV rays in your eyeballs first thing in the morning. That signals to your brain, okay, cortisol. It's time to wake up. It's time to start our functions, okay? So morning sunlight and then evening sunlight. It's, again, getting outside as much as physically possible, being in the sunlight is what tells your brain what time it is, okay? And then we can get a little, I'll also say grounding, barefoot grounding, feeling the frequency of earth. The negative ions literally charge our body. We are solar power beings. We need to remember that. We need connection to the sun and the earth for our body to know what time it is and to balance our circadian rhythm. Okay? So as much sunlight as possible, as much grounding as possible, at least every morning, bare feet on the ground, even friggin' snow, wind, rain. I know, like, I hate being cold, and that's very difficult to commit to, but it will be transformational for you. I can guarantee that. And then let's get one step deeper. Where's our food coming from? Because the food that we consume holds frequency, it holds light codes. If we can eat an in-season and local diet as much as possible, this is also going to balance our circadian rhythm. It's going to hold the same light codes as the area that you live in, and it's going to confirm your body what season we're in, because we are cyclical beings. Our body needs to know what season it is, what time it is, so that it can do the proper functions, okay? So if you are eating, if it's dead ass winter here in Texas and I'm eating pineapple that is grown in Mexico, that causes a major incoherence in our body. It doesn't understand that it is the dead of winter and that stuff is not locally grown here. It's an incoherence between where we physically are and what we're consuming. Okay, does that make sense to you guys? So eating local and eating in season is very, very important to balancing your circadian rhythm. Okay? The reason this is so important is because this is communication with your body. When your body feels coherent and understands what time it is, it can do its proper functions, and it puts the body in a state of safety. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about nervous system now, because our body really truly needs to feel safe enough to release. If weight loss is truly what you want, like I said, it has to come from a healthy lifestyle, but the healthy lifestyle is what signals to the nervous system that it's safe. Okay? So your nervous system is built for one thing and one thing only, and it is to keep you safe. And safety to the nervous system always means familiar. Okay? So it doesn't really matter what you're doing if your body does not feel safe enough to release. We have to signal safety at all times, and we have to be extremely patient with ourselves because, like I said, we're not going to be fully releasing fat, toxins, emotions. We cannot be in a flow state if our bodies don't feel safe to just like let go, breathe. It's like you know what I mean? Like take a moment to like tune into your breath. How are you breathing most of the time? Is it up here? Because that doesn't feel safe. When someone gives you a boo, you immediately react going, it's a short, quick breath. Okay? And that says, danger, danger. Okay? When we are fully breathing all the way into our belly, and we take a good, nice, full breath in, full breath out, that instantly changes our body chemistry from unsafe to safe. And when your body feels safe, you're taking those nourishing breaths, right? It's the same thing as a release. A release in the breath, it changes your body chemistry. And that is how we let ourselves, our bodies know, hey, you're safe. But we can't just breathe our way through it. That is a huge part of it. Yes, we do need to be taking full, deep, diaphragmatic belly breaths. But how are we signaling safety to the nervous system? It's definitely not by starving ourselves. Okay? There's a lot of talk about fasting, and there might be a time and place for that, but you have to be so well resourced for your body not to absolutely freak out when it is not being fed, because your body does not know the difference between being starving because there is no access to food or being starving because you are intentionally fasting. Okay, so fasting is not a starting place because it signals harm, danger, fight or flight. I have no food. I'm in survival. Okay? Does that make sense, you guys? When you are not eating consistently and nutrient dense foods, your body feels like it's in danger. It might as well be running from a freaking tiger or a bear. Do you understand? That is why it's so important for us to nourish ourselves. The number one way to signal safety in your body is to eat enough food at consistent times, if possible, that is super nutrient dense and mineral rich. Okay? And also your circadian rhythm, getting the sunlight, that puts your body in a state of safety, grounding your feet to the ground. Oh, I'm safe. I'm recharging. Okay, I'm a human. Minerals. Your minerals are literally the spark plugs to your body. That is where your energy comes from. If you are super mineral depleted, which we all are, and I'm going to get into how we can start replenishing those in a moment, but your body will not feel safe. Okay, you can do all the breath work you want. You can EFT tap all you want. You can go do meditations. Yeah, cool. You could even microdose psilocybin. Great. You can do all the rewiring you think you want to do. But until your body feels safe because it is getting what it needs, energy through nutrients and minerals, then you are not going to feel safe enough to release. Okay? And then there comes the emotional part of this whole conversation. Okay? We need to understand that fat is protective. All right? Our bodies are so beautifully designed. They are here to protect us. Our body wants nothing else but for us to be safe. If there is emotional toxins floating through your blood and water body, how in the hell is it going to feel safe enough to release? No. When we have not been taught to process trauma, it sticks inside of our lymph, inside of our fascia, water holds memory. Water literally holds memory, and you're like 95% water. So this trauma is just stewing in your body, and it's arming you from being hurt again, from feeling that pain again, because you don't know how to process it. Okay, does that make sense? We literally put on a physical armor when we are not willing to be seen, to be heard, because we're scared of being hurt, because that thing we never fully process is stewing in our body, and our body's so fucking smart. It's saying, we're not doing that again. We need to protect ourselves. Put an armor up in a physical fat layer. Okay? Not only is fat protective in that way, it is protective in the way that toxins, if they're floating around your bloodstream, you're dead. If we had all the toxins that we're exposed to just floating around in our bloodstream, we would literally die. So our body creates fat cells to hold on to the toxins. Do you understand? So now these things are trapped in our fat cells, and they are holding on for dear life because there's danger, toxins. Our body perceives it as danger when there is toxins, unwanted shit coming in from every single angle, you guys. We have to understand what time we're living in. Like, our houses are built out of toxic shit, and our cosmetics and our fluoride water or whatever, our tap water, And this isn't to put you in a state of fear. It's to be mindful of and be in control of what you can. This is to make sovereign decisions, knowing what they're doing, the damage that could be done, and picking and choosing, using discernment from a place of sovereignty and knowing. If you want to use the toxic fucking dish soap, I'm looking at Dawn right now. I didn't buy it, but it's like, am I not going to do the dishes and wash my hands because I know that that is not the most clean thing I can do? No. It's fucking here. I'm going to use it. I'm not going to stress out. But when I buy dish soap, I know to get a better product with less toxins that are entering my bloodstream the moment that I put them on my body. Do you understand? It's really not about fear. It's actually about escaping the fear matrix. Like, the matrix has us so scared. So freaking scared of everything. I don't want you to consume this information and then think you need to be perfect, and it's not about that. It's about understanding, knowing the information, and making sovereign decisions, okay? All right, so we talked a little about how you guys can see how this is such a layered conversation, and I just want to break it down for you so it's like digestible and really helpful without, because I know that this live video can't be 5 hours long, and that some things might not digest properly without further conversating. So, you guys can always reach out to me if you need to. But nervous system, okay? And we need to think about this from a root cause perspective. It's not always just about what is happening right now. It is about starting to look at your entire life and where did this stuff stem from? Because your nervous system blueprint was designed while you were in utero, while you were in your mother's womb. So how was she living her life? How was her mineral status? How was her mom's mineral status? These things are generational. Trauma is generational. Okay, and it gets stuck in our body until we move through it. That was big. Okay, so now that we know that trauma, minerals, nervous system is all generational, where can we start unraveling the knot that has been caused from the way we're living, the way we're feeling, the way we're thinking, the way we're moving throughout life? Okay, in order to feel truly safe in your body, we have to address the roots. We have to address the roots. We have to feel the feelings. We have to change the way we are telling the story in our head. Is it your excuse to be a victim, or is it your reason to change your identity, to become who you want to become? Okay? We have the power to change the way we tell stories to ourselves and allow ourselves to process things in a different way and to release them. Okay? The number one way to release these is to, 1, change the story. 2, movement. If your body is water and water holds memory, Your body needs to be in a fluid state to release, to process. Okay? We need to be processing and releasing our trauma. Because what did I just say? We will wear it as an armor to keep us safe as long as we do not process it. Okay? And now I want us to all think about our gut lining. Our gut lining is 1 cell membrane thick. It's really thin and it's very sensitive. Okay? What is our gut lining? Well, it's a boundary inside of our body that protects the toxins and the waste from getting into our bloodstream so that we digest it and it excretes the body. It doesn't recirculate. Right? We need to be excreting. Oh, is that a word? I don't know. This shit needs to be coming out through our poop, through our pee, through our sweat, emotionally, through our tears, through laughter. Laughter is an emotional release. All of the release that we need to be releasing physically, emotionally, spiritually. That means the physical things, the poop, the pee, the emotional things, crying. When you cry, cortisol leaves your body and you are literally detoxing your emotions. When you laugh, same thing. You are expressing, you are getting the emotions from the body out. Movement, okay? Our body is water. What happens to water when it just sits? What happens to water when it just sits? Let's think about a freaking stagnant puddle. It's gross. There's lots of bugs. There's algae. There's mold. It stinks. It's disgusting. That's why we need to be moving. Okay? Moving. What happens with flowing water? It's clear. It's beautiful. It's fresh. You can see right through it. It's crystalline. Okay? That's inside of our body. That's inside of ourselves. Let's talk about minerals, because this fluid cannot properly flow without being mineralized. You think ocean water, salt. We are human beings with sodium receptors. Our whole body, every single receptor in our body requires sodium to function. But our minerals are always synergistic. So we can't just go for the salt and be like, okay, I'm mineralized. No, we need a full range of minerals. Our minerals are literally the spark plugs to our body. Our minerals give us energy. Our minerals make us feel safe. Our minerals allow us to flow. Our minerals is what fuels the body to do its job, which is detox, digest, make hormones. All those things cannot happen if we are freaking depleted of minerals. So we need to be eating enough nutrient-dense food and consuming our minerals. We need to be drinking mineral-rich water. Like back to what I said about our ancestors, their water was clean and full of minerals. It was not this tap water bullshit, and it was not it didn't need to be so filtered that all the minerals are stripped. Okay, so we need to be drinking the proper water if we're gonna be using like a very intensive water filter. We need to be remineralizing, right? Because it like strips all the minerals. Spring water is great. Out of a glass bottle is preferred because microplastics in our water, that is just adding to the problem. Like I said, our body holds on to toxins. It gets stored in the fat cells, and plastic specifically is a xenoestrogen. So what a xenoestrogen does is mocks real estrogen. So it makes our body estrogen dominant. So we stop creating, when our body becomes estrogen dominant, our other hormones lower. Like for women, it's our progesterone. Okay, because the estrogen kind of just dominates, so progesterone lowers. And progesterone is very, very important for women, okay? That is you can think of like estrogen almost as the more masculine hormone, and then the progesterone as like the feminine hormone, okay? So we want to be in balance, like a yin and yang. We do not want to be like super masculine and very little feminine, because the feminine frequency and hormone is like what our pleasure comes from, what our joy comes from, just like putting us in the state of flow and receiving. And if you can think of feminine energy or feminine traits, that is where our progesterone comes from. Like we really want that. And then when it comes to men, estrogen, it's kind of like opposite. Like if you're estrogen dominant, because your body is just thinking you have so much fucking estrogen, because toxins like plastic and cosmetics, like hormone disrupting chemicals, put you estrogen dominant. So your testosterone lowers. And like we don't want that either. Like men, testosterone and the whole man thing, like, yeah, it's sexy, okay? You want to do that. You want to be in your masculine and also have the balance of the feminine, right? We don't want to be over flooded with one hormone and then be low on the other. Okay? So that kind of leads me to drainage. Okay, we're at 42 minutes, so this isn't too bad. So drainage. What happens is our body already has natural detox pathways, okay? Your colon, your kidney, your liver, your skin, your lymph. Those are the 5 that I will talk most about. Essentially, your liver is responsible for detoxing every single thing that you consume. Physically, topically, and verbally, and emotionally. Your liver detoxes your emotions too. Like if you are somebody who feels a lot of freaking rage and does not have control over that, or it feels like you don't have control of it, it's because your liver's backed up. Okay? That is the organ of anger, is your liver in traditional Chinese medicine. Anyways, back to the point. Your liver is detoxing everything that you consume, okay? And it is specifically responsible for detoxifying those estrogens. So what needs to be happening is the estrogen goes through the liver, through the gut, through the liver, into the colon, and comes out, okay? And then you have a healthy hormone balance. If we are not pooping, if our colon is closed up emotionally and freaking physically, then everything that is not getting excreted is being recycled through the body. And it becomes toxic. That's why it's supposed to come out. Like, that's why it's like poop. Like, poop just floating through your body is highly toxic. Okay, we need to be excreting. Back to that word. Jeez. Okay. I need water. I need that water. As I'm drinking coffee and becoming even more hydrated. And it's cold. Yeah, not good. I don't like cold coffee. Unless it's on ice and espresso. But anyways, you guys, our drainage pathways need to be open. This is if you have been doing all the right things, okay? That's what we always say. I'm doing the right things. I'm eating healthy. I'm getting exercise. Great. If your drainage pathways aren't open and the toxins are not coming out of your body on a daily basis, they are recirculating through your bloodstream, going into the fat cells and making it harder for us to lose weight, okay? All right, so we talked about blood sugar. Did we? Oh, gosh darn. I'm pre-recording this, so I don't even know. We talked about circadian rhythm and we talked about nervous system. And then to tie that all in a knot, blood sugar.